Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday morning here in the Outlaw Nation on Mornings with the Outlaw. I am the Outlaw, John Rocha. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. My apologies. I know I'm about 10 minutes late. I had to take the lady to jury duty this morning. Oh, wait, the mic. Coom. There we go. How about that? Am I sounding good? How's it going, everybody? Is it sounding better? Sorry, I forgot to throw the mic down here in front of me. I tell you, it's going insane sometimes with me and my life and all the stuff I got going on. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm trying to make sure everything goes through the USB audio device, so it should be good to go on that level. So yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mornings with the Outlaw. Thank you all so much for being patient with me this morning. I did not expect my girlfriend to get selected by a jury. She came home last night. She was super excited. She's a big fan, actually, of jury duty. I can't explain it, but she loves jury duty. She's into it like crazy. And so she came home last night and told me that she got selected for a jury, so she will be on for the next week. But this morning we tried to do the Metro, so I took her to the Metro. I didn't know there was going to be traffic quite to the extent there was on the way back. So unfortunately, I'm a few minutes late, and I apologize to everybody. Already see that I have some Streamlabs in here, and I'll get to them in just a second. Going to be talking about a couple of things today. Certainly, the first reactions for A Quiet Place Part 2. Unfortunately, I wasn't invited to an early screening. I'll be going to a screening, I think on not this Monday, but the next Monday after the week that the film comes out. But already some people were invited to go to an early screening last night, and social media reactions were up quick as hell last night and into this morning. So we're going to get into some of that. And also later on, I'm going to talk about how Jennifer Garner made a phone call to Gavin O'Connor and the whole process of how she essentially, you could argue, saved Ben Affleck being in the way back and actually saved that film from being thrown onto the scrap heap and getting made. So we're going to talk about all of that as well. Plus, I'll have your Streamlabs, I'll have your super chats, whatever you want to send me. But first off, like always, like is the tradition, let's say hi to everybody who is in here. What's up, Chris Scorpio? Hi, Andrew G. What's up, Ben Rayner? Haskell, thank you so much for holding down the fort, my man, getting everybody involved. Josh Herrera says Batfleck forever. I appreciate that. Andrew G, MK Songbird, Rix Amoris, what's going down? Billy Belford, how are you, my man? Thank you so much for joining me, brother. Chris Hall, how are you? I haven't come on the action, guys, yet. Chris Hall, Cameron Hainsworth, how are you? The Schmo Way, what's going down the Schmo Way? Adelia Chamberlain, thank you so much for jumping in. Adelia, I hope things are going well for you. I know you've been tweeting at us a lot how we're helping you through a tough time right now. Hope things are a little bit better, at least with us keeping you entertained or keeping you like your mind off of whatever it is that you are confronting and dealing with in your world. So just want to give you a big shout out there personally from me. Manny Gonzalez, what's going down, my man? How good to see you. Ronnie Padilla, how are you? Nick Shee, what's up? Hope all is well with your dad, Adelia. There you go. Yeah, give him some love to Adelia as well. Kanu Hakufu, Nico Robin _DB, what's going down, man? Andy Burnett, how are you? Roose Bain, hello there. What's going on? Let's see. I want to make sure I get everybody who haven't said the name before yet. Make sure. Kevin Landa, what's going down? Cole is a dreamer. Hey, y'all. Hey, you. Thank you, Jake Yacovetta, for moderating here in the chat. Really appreciate that. Tim Mulcahy, how are things with you, my man? Let's see. See that guy over there? Good to see you. Chris Rogers, what's good? What's good? Hopefully this stream is good, Chris. Thank you so much. Victor Acosta, what's up, morning man? How are you? Thanks for joining me. Monkey of all DJs, morning from Winterpeg. Where is Winterpeg? Good luck to the Lady Outlaw. That's right. She's she's into this case, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, she can't talk about the case with me, but she's excited to be on a case. ZCM Zombie Custom Maps. Are you going to be on SCN Rocha? Yes, I am hosting today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got Corey from Double Toasted coming on, Ben Goddard, bunch of people coming on the show today, so it will be fun. Jose Fonseca, buenos dias, ¿cómo está? Let's see who else we got in here. Cutter Hale, what's up? How are you, Cutter Hale? I think that's a new one. Vanja Kosiak, yo from Croatia. Welcome back, man. I know you were in yesterday. John Krausen, good to see you. James Morrow, Viva Roca, Viva James, man. Thank you. PC, what's going down? Jean-Paul Mantilla, hope I said that right. Hello. Paco San Miguel, how are you? Max Martin, what's going down? Amit Sharma, what's going on? Ratson King. I always like seeing Ratson King. Let's see here. Who else? Kyle Petrano, what's up? Talking about the coronavirus. Kevin Petre. Hello, everyone. Let justice be served. Ed, dude, what's going on? What's up, Sir Lord John Rocha? Yes. I think the thing dropped today or last night, or will drop at 10 a.m. today. The live event from Atlanta. So don't forget on the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. Go and watch that. Two great matches, or two fun matches for sure, and one great match. And that is, of course, Dan Murrow versus Ben Bateman for the title. And you get Emily Rose Jacobson taking on Alex Damon, the Star Wars champion, in his first ever IG match at a live event in Atlanta. I'll tell you, it was hopping. So definitely, if you haven't seen it, or even if you've seen it already, watch it one more time, because definitely that Ben Bateman, Dan Murrow match is one for the ages for the title. So you can't argue that. All right, let's jump in real quickly. I'll do this quick Streamlabs, then we'll jump into the main topic here. Andrew G. already donated. He said, didn't get this on during yesterday's Bat Talk, but if you want to read a really rad Batman book, look for Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman White Knight, Curse of the White Knight. It's a really cool take on Batman. He's crafted and one you might dig. Cheers. All right, thank you, Andrew G. I appreciate that. You know, I'm constructing this Amazon wish list, so I will definitely be doing that and putting certain comic books on there or graphic novels on there. And if people want to send them to me for me to read them, and I'll do give a shout out and do whatever on one of my shows, I'm down to do that. Let's see. Andy Burnett donated. He said, wait, what? How are Frodo and Sam not on your top 10 duos on a journey? Where's the Ben Goddard when you need him? No love for Doc and Marty. Can I make a case that Indy and Short Round are better than Indy and Dad? No, you cannot make a case that Indy and Short Round are better than Indy and Dad. There's no case you can make on that, Andy. Some things are just true, and it's certainly true that there's no... sorry, I was looking for something to clean my glasses. There's no there's no possible explanation you can give that would tell me Short Round is better than Sean Connery in any universe or shape or form. And you talk about the duos on a journey. Yeah, Frodo and Sam's not my thing. Just not my thing. Just do not enjoy that whole journey with Frodo and Sam to the Mordor, or whatever it is they go to throw the ring in. It's so boring to me. I like the Aragorn story so much more in those Lord of the Rings movies than anything the Hobbits. Where we going, Mr. Frodo? We going to the mountain, Mr. Sam. I'll carry you, Mr. Frodo. Oh, thanks, Sam. Oh, I can't. All right, let's see what else. Doc and Marty was interesting, but Doc and Marty is not a journey necessarily because they stay in one place, so they're not going from place to place to place to get to a destination. So in my mind, I didn't include them for that reason. But it's a good suggestion, that's for sure. And you should go, if you haven't listened to that top 10 duos on a journey movies. We just did that for this week for the top 10 onward. So go in the description below for this one. You should be able to download that episode. All right, there's 100 of you in here. Thank you so much for joining me. Please get the like. We only got 48 likes. Can we get to 100 likes as quickly as possible? I'd appreciate it. Swing that cursor over, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, whatever it is, whatever language it is in your country. Please hit that and give me some love on the like section. I appreciate it. All right, Charles Hall, what is your favorite movie Ben Affleck either stars in or is in? Mine is Daredevil. Just kidding. I liked it when I was younger. Now I see how horrible it is. My actual favorite is either The Town or Chasing Amy. Yeah, I'd have to say The Town is probably my favorite thing, though a lot of people are giving some love to his performance, a big-time love to his performance in The Way Back. So that's another one. Unfortunately, I tried to lobby to get in for the premiere. They had assured me, the publicists, that I was going to get into the premiere, and then for whatever reason, I think because I was in Atlanta, I didn't follow up, or they didn't remember. I did not get invited to the premiere, any of the early screenings. So I'll be seeing it sometime probably tomorrow or today or Sunday, and then do my review for it. I've been looking forward to this one a lot. I have a friend who runs a substance abuse center, and so I'm very aware of the ins and outs of addiction and what people go through in addiction. And so, and I've been such a massive fan of Ben Affleck, so I've been looking forward to seeing this one. So I can't wait to see that one, definitely, and it's something I thoroughly am looking forward to. But you talk about the best. Yeah, I say The Town is good. I really enjoy him in that movie. I say The Accountant is actually really damn good, which is also the same director, Gavin O'Connor, who's doing The Way Back. He did The Accountant as well. So I would absolutely say those are two fantastic performances. Sure, Chasing Amy is good, but Chasing Amy feels dated. It's like Good Will Hunting. His performance is good in that. You know, I like him in Armageddon. I know I know not a lot of fans are going to enjoy what I say about him in Armageddon, but I like Armageddon. But yeah, I have to say The Town is my favorite Ben Affleck, bar none. He's just got such an interesting journey in the film. So. All right, let's see here. Let's jump into our main top. Oh, no, we got one super chat, and then I'll jump into the main topic. This is from Solskjaer, 1999. Oh, still living in the past there. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scoring that goal in the Champions League final against Bayern Munich. I respect it. Even though he can't manage his way out of a paper bag, you got to respect the fact that he did that in his past. What was your fave scene in Happy Valley, Rocha? That program is a masterpiece. Was great watching the cop in season 2 sweat bullets, but what a sad ending. Great stuff, man. Yeah, I'd have to say that because that guy's in Downton Abbey as well. Mr. Oh, I forget what his name is, but yeah, he plays such a great put upon character when he's in shows. So I enjoyed that too. Favorite scene? It might be when her and her sister falls off the wagon and they have the confrontation in the street. That is powerful. You want to talk about addiction, as I just mentioned with the way back in alcoholism, seeing the difference night and day between the person who is so, tender and caring and kind of walking on eggshells around her sister who's a cop because, she feels guilty about the journey she has put her sister on for loving her. And then how absolutely callous and careless she is when she's drunk. That's real, right? You could write it a certain way where, they come together immediately. She realizes it. They break through. No, it took a while for them to come back together as sisters. And I thought that was great and completely believable. So that's one of my favorite scenes. So, yeah. Oh, William Belford mentions, watch the action movie Anatomy for Armageddon with John Rocha. It's a great episode. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I loved being on that show with them and talking Armageddon. I'll talk Armageddon with anybody. I love that damn movie. All right, let's dig into Chris Hall says, my name is Chris Rocha, not Charles. Now you know. Yeah, you're right, Chris. I apologize. The thing is, I have a friend named Charles Hall, so I get it mixed up sometimes with your name. So I apologize. All right, anyway, let's get into the big story, and that is A Quiet Place Part 2. As I said, last night there were some screenings for the movie, and already there are some first reactions to this thing. Remember, it is a sequel to A Quiet Place, which starred Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, and Krasinski, of course, directed it as well. There were no plans to make a sequel of it, initially. It wasn't supposed to be created into some kind of universe, but it could be such a big hit commercially and critically that they put a sequel into development. It's 2 weeks away, or only a few weeks away from coming out in the theaters. You'll recall at the end of A Quiet Place 2, we had A Quiet Place. John Krasinski's Lee Abbott is killed by sound-sensitive creatures that are running rampant on the earth, but the rest of the family realize soon after that young Reagan's cochlear implant, I hope that's right, could emit a sound that could weaken those monstrosities. Armed with the knowledge of how to turn the tables on the predators, A Quiet Place Part 2 sees the rest of the Abbott family venturing into the outside world, fighting not only to survive against these creatures, but from other threats a little closer to home, so to speak. The film stars Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe, all reprising their roles as the family from the first movie. But Jamin Hansu and Cillian Murphy come on to this sequel, with the latter playing Emmett, a character that a lot of people are looking forward to see. It's rated PG-13, which is hard to believe because the horrors in that film, the original, could have matched any horrors in any R-rated film, and it's projected to make around $55 million on its opening weekend. So let's take a look at some of these tweets that have come through for the film reactions. The first one is from Sean O'Connell over there at Cinema Blend. He said, how does John Krasinski already have Spielberg-level chops? A Quiet Place 2 is fantastic and deserves to be a massive hit. Finds exciting ways to further explore this terrifying environment and is bigger but still tense as hell. And that's a pretty good ringing endorsement from Sean O'Connell, whose reviews I totally trust. And Sean O'Connell, of course, is writing a book on the Snyder Cut. So interesting to see how that's going to go down. I should reach out to him and see if I can help him in any way on that book, because I am excited to see if we can somehow make that thing happen. Mike Ryan also tweeted out about this. He said, A Quiet Place Part 2 is tension the movie. I have a stomachache now from how tense this movie is. Also, this turned out to be a surprisingly great Cillian Murphy movie. Now, why is that surprising? Cillian Murphy is a fantastic actor. He's been in so many great films, certainly doing great work in Peaky Blinders. So I don't know, Mike Ryan, of senior entertainment writer of Uproxx. I think it's not surprising that Cillian Murphy has a good film under his belt. He's a good actor. All right, let's move on to Kate Erblin's reaction. She says, A Quiet Place Part 2, a worthy, world-expanding follow-up that builds on the original and finds its own thrills, chills, and emotions in the process. Audiences should still be banned from eating crunchy snacks during any and all screenings. That's very funny from Kate Erbland. I think she's one of the best people going around with her thoughts on films and her reviews on film. Straightforward, straightforward analysis, straightforward opinions. She's the deputy editor over there at IndieWire. Pretty cool place. She's out of New York City, so I really respect her points of views. Someone who's growing in my estimation as an analyst and a critic of film. So, but yes, I like that what she says here, that it's world expanding. That's important. A sequel's always supposed to expand the world. Then the third or fourth can make it a little smaller, as we saw with John Wick. Finds its own thrills, chills, and emotions in the process. That's cool. It means it's singular. Audiences should still be banned from eating crunchy snacks during any and all. And I thoroughly agree. That was a problem I had when I was in seeing the first time around. I went and made sure that my popcorn wasn't too. I just put it on the ground after a while because I thought to myself, like, people are not going to appreciate me crunching away with my popcorn and doing my thing and getting into a situation here with that. So I totally understand and respect what she's talking about. Some people have an incredible knack to just eat at the wrong emotional moments. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe they're trying to get attention for themselves. So they're gonna make some loud noise at a critical moment. So everybody turns around and looks at them. I always think that's 99% of the reason why people, make noise during big emotional scenes when they're opening food or whatever. It's because they want people to notice their reaction to what they're watching on the screen. That's my personal opinion. But other people, for some reason, just have this inability to understand what's happening and why they shouldn't be making noise during a critical moment. All right, let's move on to the next tweet, and that's from Eric Davis over there at Fandango. He says, "Damn, A Quiet Place Part 2 rocks. Honestly, just as tense and terrifying as the first one. There are some sequences in this film that are a masterclass in suspense. Bravo to John Krasinski. So good, so emotional too." I like that. That's a good review there. I actually appreciate that for what he's trying to say here, and that is that Krasinski does a great job of suspense. Suspense sometimes can be the scare, the jump scares or whatever, and but sometimes really good suspense is what separates standard horror films, but from actually damn good or great horror film. Suspense is usually the key, and being able to navigate that suspense correctly, direct it correctly, pace it out correctly. I thought The Invisible Man did that really well as well, with a lot of the suspenseful scenes and the tense scenes that you see with Elizabeth Moss as she's going through this inner journey of horror, sensing that this man who supposedly has killed himself is still alive and still stalking her, and no one believes her, and she can't do anything about it, and she's going insane. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. High praise from Eric Davis on John Krasinski. And the last tweet, let's get to it now. That's from my boy Chris Killian over there at comicbookmovie.com. Chris is great. I've done a couple of junkets with him and a couple of set visits with him. Really nice dude, very funny guy, good stand-up. He does these little mini movies on his YouTube channel. He did a Spider-Man one that was really funny as well. But he says the use of sound in A Quiet Place Part 2 is still so vital. In what could easily have been a retread, John Krasinski finds unbelievably creative ways to keep the movie's niche from getting stale. The entire cast is fantastic, and it's riveting from top to bottom. So a lot of love there for the movie from Chris Killian. I always enjoy Chris's thoughts on things. Very funny dude, like I said, but also good on the horror stuff. Like when we were there, I think we did The Invisible Man or Hannah or something we did together, and we talked about horror for a little bit, and Chris had some good thoughts about all that kind of jazz. So I'm a big fan of Chris, and I like his point of view on this. So this is exciting for me personally because I was confused about what was going to happen. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip. I'm a big fan of the first movie, and so I was worried that them going back to the well, especially when they hadn't planned to go back to the well, was going to be a concern that they'd be hitting the beats. But Krasinski, just like Ben Affleck before him, and we're going to get to Ben Affleck in just a little bit, actor turned director with already these freshman efforts and sophomore efforts that are like really getting into people's minds. And we're seeing this more and more. Jordan Peele's doing this. Certainly Mel Gibson did this back in the 90s, but Olivia Wilde with Booksmart. A lot of these actors are turning directors, and they're actually churning out product that is a little bit above the genre that they're working in. And so I find that to be exciting and exhilarating as a movie fan for what will be coming down the road from them, how much we'll get, what we'll see, what they'll be interested in exploring and putting out there. That would be fun for me personally to see what's going down the pike. And Krasinski, I'm not a big fan of Jack Ryan. I don't watch the show. I mean, I tried watching the show, it just wasn't. I don't really see him as Jack Ryan, but I think his directing chops are great from that first movie. So I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel. Again, I'm going not this Monday night, but next Monday night. So I'm excited to see it and get my face scared off and see what we get from Emily Blunt, who I think is one of the best actresses working today. Honestly, if you can find a bad Emily Blunt performance in anything, no matter whether you like the movie or not, I'll be surprised. I've never seen a bad Emily Blunt performance, and she always commits herself. Remember, people forget she's in Looper. She's such an essential part of Looper, with her reactions to her child and defending her child and fighting back against Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, all of that she does. You can jump all the way to Young Victoria. I thought she was fantastic in Young Victoria, a nice little quiet British film about Queen Victoria. Another one that I really enjoyed her performance in the film, maybe not wasn't so great, but she was great, is A 5-Year Engagement. Look, that film had no business being anywhere remotely good, because it's like, oh yeah, okay, so they struggle through. It was very similar to The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, but Emily Blunt brings such a commitment to the role, such a commitment to the performance. You do believe that she has a strong connection with Jason Segel, and all of that goes through in the movie. And then by the end, what happens at the end, it's actually really tender and sweet, and it's because of her performance and his performance too, but her performance as she navigates this relationship and the changes in this relationship as it goes along. So she's always in service of the product in all the best ways. And of course, you can mention all the great stuff, Devil Wears Prada, all these other things that she's done so well. And you think about the fact that she could have been Catwoman, that she could have been, imagine she might be Sue Storm. That would be great to see her as Sue Storm with Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Certainly a lot of people still believe that that's coming down the pike, and wouldn't she be great at that? So there's so much that Emily's done, so it's great to see her in this situation. Also, I got to give some love to the actress who plays the deaf daughter, Millicent Simmons. She did such a great job with that in the first film. So she is actually deaf, I believe. So I'm looking forward to seeing what more depth and complexity and quality she can bring to her role in a sequel, reprising the character, where it's the character's journey, because she was such an integral part of the first movie. Because of her deafness, how would she know that she's making a sound? How would she know that she's navigating one thing or another with these monsters and what they do? If you remember the end of the first movie, I'm sorry I spoiled a little bit of the first movie with what happens to Krasinski's character, but overall, this idea of these monsters landing on the planet and doing whatever they're doing, it could get like cliche or boring or, we've seen this before, but it sounds from a majority of the review, certainly all the ones that I pulled out here, that is not what's happening here, that there's a lot of ingenuity and a lot of creativity here for the sequel that doesn't feel like it's being quote unquote retread sequel. So that's a positive overall to me, and excites me on so many levels, because as I said, and I'll say this over and over and over again, I know I got shit for not being 100% a horror fan. I am a horror fan. I'm a fan of good horror. I'm a fan of great horror. I'm not a fan of any horror. There's a difference. And so for me, I delineate that. And that goes for almost any genre, except for maybe action movies or revenge movies. Pretty much any other genre. I'm a fan of that genre as long as they're good to great movies. So there you go. William Belford said she is actually deaf. Thank you, man. And taught a lot of the cast the sign language used in the film so that they would all have the same accent. Well, there you go. Well, perfect. William Belford says, I really liked everyone in the 5-Year Engagement. Right, yeah. Jason Segel's new series on AMC. I'm not watching that, MK Somber. I didn't know he had one. I guess I should watch that. Haskell is putting that out there for you all. Yeah, guys, I'm going to limit more. I'm going to change some of the scheduling stuff for mornings with the Outlaw. I am going to do it on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays now. I just feel that I'm going to need some breaks on certain mornings to do certain things, and also I'm going to be bringing more. I'm going to be bringing the Outlaw Nation back next week. I'm going to be doing it on Tuesday nights. I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Should I do it from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.? What is the best situation? Oh well, depending on what's happening. I don't think Riley has a show at 5, so I can do that 5 o'clock slot. I think on Tuesday, 5 to 7 p.m., and I'll have guests on, or I'll just be talking about whatever I want to talk about. So it's going to be like the podcast was in the past, right? Whatever's on my mind, just talking about it all, whatever's going down. Could be entertainment, could be sports, could be mental health, could be politics, could be whatever. And Steve Morris has already expressed an interest, my Cinephiles co-partner, to come on and be a guest on the show. So a number of people will be involved in that. So I'll be doing that. I didn't say a 5-year engagement wasn't good. I didn't say that. I just said it wasn't that well received. It didn't get good reviews. 5 p.m. All right, possibly. And then on Thursdays will be my Patreons only show. That'll be for patrons. And you can see there, thanks to that lovely overlay that Jake Iacobetta did, you can join my Patreon over there at www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Go and get involved in that. There'll be a lot more coming down the pike for the Patreon, but a Thursday night show is what I'll be doing for my patrons, or a Thursday day show, depending on what they vote on. The time they vote on is the time we'll be doing the show. So that's the focus there, all the more so. And then, of course, the sports show will be debuting really soon, probably next week, all of that. So I'm a busy guy. There's a lot going on. But already, I wonder if I can bring it up. Already, I got a fantastic logo from Brian Ward. Let me see if I can bring it up for you guys. Maybe quickly do what do you call that? A quick little, see if I can... No, does it let me copy the thing? Hold on, let me see if I can copy the image. Yes, and I'll bring it up for you guys in just a second. And you guys can have a little fun with it if you want. And also, do they do videos? I wonder if they can do videos. Can you save the video? That's another thing too as well. Can I save the video? So that's another possibility in my mind of what I can have happen here on the Outlaw Nation. So sorry I'm doing this on the fly. I didn't anticipate kind of talking about it, but I'm just putting it out there for people who want to be a part of it, what's going down. So, all right, let me see if I can bring that logo up. Let me go into the Streamlabs. Maybe add an image here real quick. And then... okay. Because, he's been doing such great work for me, Brian Ward, with a lot of these logos. And Jake Iacobetta, of course. Can't forget Jake Iacobetta. Boom! There it is, the Outlaw Nation, hosted by John Rocha. Look at that. Fantastic new logo from Jake Iacobetta. Can't thank him enough for making that happen. I asked him to do something that was pretty kind of distinct and different and cool, and he certainly got it done for me. From Brian Ward. He certainly got it done for me. So pretty awesome work from Brian Ward there. You guys know him from the Schmoedown, so no surprise that he did incredible work on this. And there's also a accompanying video for the Outlaw Nation that'll kind of be seen through this situation. It'll be part of the show as well. I wonder if I can make that happen. I don't know if I can make that happen too. From Brian Ward. Sorry. I misspoke and said Jake Iacobetta. It's from Brian Ward, that's for sure. Let me see if I can do the video. I've never done a video on here, so I don't know if you can do a video on here. Let me see. Can you select anything? No. Oh, wait, maybe. Add files, maybe, if there's a download here. Let's see. Is there a download here that maybe works? No. Maybe on the desktop. Maybe I put it to the desktop. Let me see. Outlaw. No. Damn. I guess not. I guess I can't bring that up. I was hoping to bring that up, but I guess I can't bring that up. No, I can't. Damn. Oh, well. I was hoping you guys could see the motion logo for this thing. And we're on the fly. I'm on the fly here. Let me bring it back to me real quick. There we go. I was hoping to be able to do that, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I can. So I'm not sure where I take these things or where I send these things when I download them. So Yeah. So there we go. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, it goes to the desktop. So maybe. Do you guys know how to do that? Do you guys know how to add a video? I don't know how to add a video. So, is it browser, color source, display capture, image slideshow, media source, siphon client, maybe video capture device? Maybe that. No, that's the video capture device. It can't be that. Let me see if there's a thing. Do you guys know? Paul knows how to do it. Oh, he does he? Oh well, I don't know if I can make it happen like I was hoping. So it doesn't look like that's a situation that I can do. So because I'm looking at the desktop and it's supposed to be on the desktop. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will work. Let me see. I'll try it. Nope, that's the image. VLC video source, anything here? There we go. How about that? Dude, how badass is that? How effing badass is that, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? How cool is that? So there you go. That is the audio. That's the video for the Outlaw Nation show. So that'll be going as part of it. So what do you all think? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was cool? Boom. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. Nice reactions. All right, MK Sonberg, be well, my man. Thanks so much for stopping in. Have a good rest of your day on a Friday. Jake, yes, I agree, Jake. That is effing awesome. All right, so that's going to be the motion logo and, of course, the logo itself for the new Outlaw Nation show coming on Tuesday. So please be a part of it. And all of this stuff is going to be available on podcast as well. That's going to be my job this weekend, is to finally start the Outlaw Nation podcast feeds. Guys, I'm sorry, and I got to apologize and be honest with you. I am so tired. I'm doing all these shows at once, and, I'm not making too much doing these shows. I'm just trying to put a lot of content out there because I'm trying to be seen as a force, as building the Outlaw Nation. And so it takes some time, but to throw some kind of support in my way, Flickinger reached out to me today to say that he is subscribed to my channel, and he's been a fan of it. So I'm pretty honored that Flickinger has been kind of downloading my stuff or looking at my stuff. So I really appreciate it. So it's pretty cool to see that other people are noticing the work I'm doing. Hey, got 184 of you in here. Please swing over, hit that like button. Would really appreciate you all. Get me up to 150 likes. I am going to SCN Live, so I got to cut this thing short at 9:30 and rush on over there. I'm looking forward to hosting the show. Today's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of people enjoying that. Yeah, Brian Ward is the best. Brian Ward is so good. Ben Reiner says that was an awesome intro, Rocha. I agree. That's the one. I told he had an initial one, and I said I need something that's it isn't just pop up. I need it to kind of fade in and do whatever, so that people are kind of settling in the first 20 seconds before we kick off the show. So that's going to be cool. All right, let me jump into some of these Streamlabs before we move on to our second subject here. Also, let me give some love to the people who've subscribed to the show over the last 24 hours. Joe Mero, Destiny Hero, Adolfo Gorokika, I hope I said that right, or Gorosika, Black Mud, Sam, EKF DMF, Jean-Yves Dubé, a guy named Paul, Javon Sinclair, all subscribed to the Outlaw Nation show. To the Outlaw Nation channel, YouTube channel. So I appreciate that. If you're watching right now and you haven't subscribed, I really would appreciate you subscribing. See that red button down there? Go on down there, click it, and be a part of the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel. Also, once again, at 123 likes, let's get me up to 150. Got over 180 of you in here, so please, I'd appreciate it. So thank you so much. All right, let's see. Let's jump into these. Oh, Billy Belford, they donated here. Thank you so much. He said, haven't been able to donate in a bit. Bank account had to recover from Atlanta. Hey, dude, totally understood. Atlanta was a blast. A lot to go there. 2 questions. Do you think having no managers would have changed the outcome in Atlanta? And who do you think is the most underrated Schmoedown competitor? Good question, man. Do I think no managers? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. No man. How can I say this correctly? I'm saying too much at once, so I'm stumbling over my words. I really want to give Billy's question the attention it deserves. Here's what I would say: whenever you add or remove something to a situation, the result changes. It doesn't mean the result doesn't still turn out to be the end result, but the how we get to the end result changes. So I think no managers or whatever, the outcome would have been the outcome. I don't know if having no manager would have necessarily made a difference. Remember, Dan and I spoke only twice, like we spoke really strategy-wise only twice during the game. Of course, we did a lot of strategy beforehand, but during the game only two. And just me, it was just reinforcing his instinct to go for 0 points in the betting round. He had already thought he was going to do that, so I just reinforced it. And the second thing was, the only thing that I really think was picking his spirits up after that fourth round and telling him to go out like a champion in that fifth round. So I think Dan would have still answered the questions, but maybe he would have had a little less spirit behind him. I don't know. So I don't know if the managers or no managers would necessarily change the overall result. But I think the how we got there would have been different. How could it not be? And underrated Schmoedown competitor, is that what you're asking about? Who's the most underrated Schmoedown competitor? That is tough because I don't know that anyone has a bad record who hasn't shown out that they, don't deserve their record. Like, that's the thing at the end of the day. To me, your record is what it is. Your record is what it says it is, And yeah, there's factors like luck and the spin of the wheel and all that stuff involved, but that's the game. So your record is what it says it is. So to me, I think Paul Preston is one of the most underrated because he has yet to get to a position, and people think he's great, but they don't know yet what he can actually fully do. I would throw Whitney Seabolt in there. I'd throw Adam Witt in there. Both of these guys who've kind of been hard done by the game, and a lot of people think, oh, they're good, but they're not quite there yet. So those are the two that I would throw in there. I know a lot of people feel Janine is underrated or overrated or whatever is the case now. I think this is just, she's just got to learn the game a little bit more, and she'll get there. It's just going to take some time. Silvestrini as well. They're just going to take some time. But once they get there, that'll be that, So I think that's the situation with them. All right, let me move on to my next one here. Is that everyone? Yeah, okay. Roose Bain sent in. He said, hey, Outlaw, big fan from England. Do you think A Quiet Place 2 will be more action-oriented and with fewer horror elements than the first, like T1 compared to Judgment Day and Alien to Aliens? Have a great week from a Man United fan, no less. Thank you, Roose Bain. I would say this. I think it will have more action. I think it will have. I don't think it'll have fewer horror elements, though. I think it'll be about the tension. That's what really drove A Quiet Place, was the incredibly brilliant execution from John Krasinski with the action, with the suspense, with the tension. That's where that all came from. So to me, I think that's what is the number one thing for him here in this situation, and I think he'll get it. I know I've got some super chats coming through here. I apologize. I will definitely get to them in just a second, so don't lose faith. I'm definitely going to get to them. But yeah, I would say on this situation, I think so, because you're expanding the world as well, Roose Bain, right? You've got more characters coming in. You've got this compound coming in. We're going to get flashbacks to stuff that happened in the past. So I think that's where most of the action is going to be, is in the flashbacks of these aliens landing and people freaking out and what happens and what they have to do. And we're going to get flashbacks to the story with Emily Blunt, and we'll get flashbacks to the story with Cillian Murphy. I don't know if Krasinski is going to show up in the flashback stuff. Nobody's mentioned that, so that should be interesting if he shows up in the flashback stuff. But I think overall that's where most of the action is going to come from, and then the horror elements will be in the present, which will be tense, suspenseful moments with those alien creatures. We shall see. All right, and Andrew G. donated, said, can't wait to see A Quiet Place 2. Loved the first one. Does anyone else want Krasinski and Blunt as Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm besides me? Let's make that happen, people. I agree, Andrew G. A lot of us do want that. It's been certainly what do you call this? Has certainly been the focus du jour of a lot of what's happening next for Marvel, for Fantastic Four. A lot of people want to see Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm being Emily Blunt, and then we'll see what happens with Flash, and we'll see what happens with The Thing. But yeah, certainly those are possibilities on so many levels to see there. So we'll see. I'm absolutely on board. Rats and King donated, said, loved everything you said on the Atlanta match on Backstage this week, Rocha. I especially like that you said that you don't play like you're winning after a good round 1 and 2. Always assume you can be beaten by anyone. That's respectful play right there. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know Ben found that difficult to understand, and that's no slight on Ben. Ben just plays the game a different way. I would never celebrate between rounds. Never. I think when I was first playing, maybe I did that, but I'm always afraid I'm going to lose the match. Like, I don't play scared most of the time, but I certainly don't take anything for granted, because I've had it happen to me where, remember, in the second match with Scott Mance, he spun movie release dates, right? I was totally chill. Everyone thought, oh, shit, that's it. He got high-fived and all this kind of shit, and he missed 2 out of 4 of those things, right? Somebody else rolled their strength against me, if I remember correctly, recently, and they also didn't get it done as strongly. I think it was Andrew Guy when he spun Christopher Nolan, right? He didn't do that good of a job on him. So to me, you never take anything for granted until it's over. If you catch how I reacted after Bibiani, when I beat Bibiani, did you catch me jumping up and down? Not till after it was over, because every single round, anything can happen. So I never celebrate between rounds. I think that's bad karma. I think that messes with the karma of the game. So I never do that. Other players do it, and they still win. More power to them. It's all about who you are as a person and who you are as a player. There's no judgment. It's just who you are as a player. Ben celebrating between those rounds, to me, betrayed his feeling that he knew he needed to kind of celebrate this stuff and get in Dan's head and maybe motivate himself. That's just my analysis. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's how I felt in those moments. So I kind of pushed back on him. If you remember, after the 4th or 5th round, I did this to him to kind of mess with him, because I told Dan before we started the match, Ben's going to do all the things he does to throw people off. You just focus on the match. I'll handle Ben. I'll go back at Ben. I'll go toe-to-toe with him and make little comments to come back at his comments. I'll do whatever he does to kind of throw it back in his face, because you don't need to be rattled like that. Let me handle all of that. So it's just different situations. I always think I'm going to lose the match. So when I win the match, I am happy and always surprised. Now, do I think there are some matches where I know I'm going to win? Yes. There are matches, but most of the time I go in worried that I'm going to lose, so I never take anything for granted, because the game has bit me in the ass, and I've seen it bite many people in the ass over the years. So, and not just me. Let me jump into these super chats before they fade away here. Charles A. writes, favorite comeback story: Tiger Woods, John Travolta, Seabiscuit, Robert Downey Jr., Kim Kardashian, or you on the Action Guys. That's good. I like it. That's good. Kim Kardashian is not a comeback story, so toss that one right on out of there. But yes, I would love to come on the Action Guys. I always enjoy doing stuff with those two dudes. Big fan of Andrew, big fan of Ben. Love talking action movie with those guys. And when you sit down with those two to have conversations about stuff, it's always fun. It's always fun. I'd love to come on the Action Guys again. Hey, I have time. So if you want me on your show, you can reach out to me. We can make it happen. Hashtag AfterBuzz, people who host AfterBuzz shows. We can make it happen. So... but favorite comeback, I think, is Robert Downey Jr., to be honest with you. I loved what he did. All right, this is the Prince That Wasn't Promised. Christian said Dan put opponents and spinner's choice on the wheel in their match, that he had the choice. Does that change your opinion on Atlanta? I don't think Christian's 100% correct on that. I texted Dan about it, and he said he doesn't remember doing that at all. So I think it's that real weird time where it wasn't necessarily a choice to put it on there, and that it was like required to put it on there. And maybe you were given the option to remove it. I don't know. So it wasn't really 100% kind of in stone. And people are making such a big deal about this. It's about personal choice. Remember when we played Action Army the second time? The one thing Matt Nost and I said was, we don't want opponent's choice or spinner's choice on the wheel. Knowledge versus knowledge. The way I play the game is that. I play the game that way. And once again, people are like trying to create division between me and Ben. I just have a different opinion about it. Ben has a different opinion about it, but neither one is right or wrong. It's just you play your way, I play my way, and then we'll see what happens. If you catch, Dan does not put opponent's spinach choice on the wheel. And by the way, if Dan put it on the wheel, guess what happened? Christian won, right? So Dan lost. What happened here? Ben lost. Dan won. So the two people who put opponent's choice and spinach choice on the wheel lost their belts. What does that tell you? So those things come into play here in these situations. To me, in my opinion, I think you mess with the karma of the game, and I believe that when you put opponent's choice, spinach choice on the wheel in a championship match. It should be knowledge versus knowledge. It doesn't mean that if you're the champion, you shouldn't put it on there if you want to put it on there. Knock yourself out. You have a right to put it on there. You have an absolute right to put it on there. That's just how you play. Just own that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. Own that. That's how you want to play. So there we go. Gloin the Hobbit says, your thoughts on fried chicken with donut bun sandwich. What are you, nuts? Not at this age. I'd be dead before I'm finished eating that sandwich. I would never do that, even though it sounds incredibly good. All right, let's see. Move on to, where are we at here? I want to get these super chats. I know we have to get the Ben Affleck story before I have to wrap up here in the next 19 minutes. Okay. Browser Girl says, what is your favorite impression to do? Patty Boy Irish Rocha is featured a lot on SCM, but there are others. Are there others? Yeah, of course. I can do Alec Baldwin. I like to do Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is one of my favorite, but of course, with politics, people get upset if you do the Bernie Sanders impression. But I like doing Bernie Sanders. I'm a big fan of how he does things. I would love to do a whole mornings with the Outlaw, mornings with Bernie, or something like that.
I saw A Quiet Place 2 last night. It was incredible. A lot of action, a lot of suspense. I was scared. Haven't been that scared since we got rid of Medicare, since Trump was elected. Incredible, so scary, what you can see in the world. Aliens coming down, illegal aliens coming down into our country, doing crazy things, killing people, killing Americans, killing citizens. I don't understand.
Things like nature. I love doing Bernie. It's one of my favorite impressions to do. But yes, I enjoy Irish Patty. I do a Scottish one too. That's kind of nuts. Let's see. Chris Hall says, have you seen The Witcher and what is your opinion? I love the toss a coin to your Witcher song. You should check out Dan Vask on YouTube. He does a metal cover of the song. And it's awesome. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I haven't seen The Witcher yet. No, I'm waiting for Saturday. I think my girlfriend goes out of town sometime later on this month or in April. And that Saturday, I'm just going to start The Witcher and go all the way down. Because I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill, so I want to see his work on the show. A lot of people have enjoyed it, and I know there's a season 2 coming. So I definitely want to take a look at that. And that may be the closest I get to see Henry Cavill being some semblance of a hero again. So I will definitely watch it. All right. Let's see. Prince That Wasn't Promised as donated. He said, I wasn't trying to divide, just wanted your opinion. Yeah, absolutely. No, there's no division. That's the thing. I was going back and forth about it on Twitter yesterday. I just have a different approach to the game. I'm not trying to denigrate how Ben approaches the game. Ben and any competitor who wants to put that stuff on the wheel, who is a champion, knock yourself out. That is your right to do so. You'll just never catch me doing it. It's just not my style, not how I play the game. So it's just a different approach to the game. It doesn't mean one is right or one is wrong. And I can still feel it's disrespectful, but also think you're not a disrespectful person. That's also important too. The nuance of that is, I think, is essential to discover and explore and talk about. Ben is a great player. Ben is an intimidating player now. When I played him, I knew I could beat him. I wanted him to win when we played because I wasn't in that mindset to keep going with the Schmoedown at the time. But then I beat him, But he has been slowly analyzing this game and moneyballing the fuck out of this game, and he has figured it out to a degree. But when you go against the GOAT, the greatest of all time, you got to answer the questions. That's what it's all about, right? If he doesn't hit the Black Panther thing, he wins. If Dan bets 1 point, he wins. If he answers his 5-pointer, he wins. So it's those kinds of things that come down. So you can do all the tactics you want, but it's having the answers to the questions. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I don't like to mess with the karma of the game. I'm an old school guy. I'm superstitious. I think if you put those things on the wheel, you're asking for the game to turn against you. And as I said, Dan put it on the wheel against Christian. Christian won the game. Ben put it on the wheel against Dan, Dan won the game. So it's just like those things have to come into your mind about that in this situation. All right, we're at 175 people watching. Please, would love it if you gave some likes here. Get me over 150 before I have to wrap up this section of this episode of Mornings with the Outlaw. I don't see any more super chats or Streamlabs come through. I want to give love to Pram D. Rui, who just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. If I missed your Streamlab or your super chat, let me know. I would say that. William Bedford said, some people would say that talking smack is disrespectful. They would be wrong, but they can say that. Right, exactly. They can say that. They can feel that way. Absolutely. Once again, this is all opinion. This is all conjecture. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't affect you at all. That's why I was surprised. I guess Ben said to me, he's like, I just want you to respect what I do in the game. And I told him, I 1,000% respect what he has done in the game. And I'm so impressed with how far he's come. And this might be a hot take. I'm more impressed with what Ben has done to the game than what Kalinowski has done to the game. I think Kalinowski has bullied and pushed and twisted and turned the game to his favor, and all credit to Kalinowski because he has that force of will to win, and I respect that. Lord knows I have that too. But what Ben has done is intellectually dissect the game like fucking Sherlock in his mind palace, and I have a lot more respect for that overall than I do for someone who twists the game to work for him, forces the game to be in his. So I mean I just feel like Ben should be lauded more, in my opinion, a little bit. And some people talk about Kalinowski. I think Ben, by the time this is all over, will be the fourth guy on the Schmoedown. I really on the Mount Schmoedown, Schmore, whatever it is, Mount Rushmore of the Schmoedown. I thoroughly believe that. So I certainly would not hit. Yeah, and look, William Belford, Damon hit opponents and Emily hit spinners. Damon won the game. Exactly. And Riley, when he played me for the title, and by the way, opponents and spinners, and I don't think I would ever had the choice to put that on there. And if I did, guess what? I was a heel. So I was doing it in a heel fashion if I had the choice to put it on. I don't remember having the choice to put it on there. And guess what happened? Riley won. So I think it's bad karma. And I think you've seen the results in championship matches. If you put opponent's choice and spinner's choice on the wheel, you lose the belt. So, I mean, I lost it to Riley, Dan lost it to Christian, and Ben lost it to Dan. So it's just my own opinion there. Yeah, Haskell says there's a fine line between smack talk. Well, Haskell, that's not 100% true. If it's smack talk and you're a heel, then you've got, more leeway within the game to say what you want. As long as you don't bring personal shit into it, then you've got more leeway. If you're a face, there is a line in that. Mount Rushmore. Yeah, there it is, Mount Rushmore. All right, let's move on to the second subject here, and that is the Ben Affleck situation. I got to wrap this thing up in the next 13 minutes, so I'm going to try to give this thing as much love as I can. This is a story that broke out over a number of outlets. Jennifer Garner apparently, you could say, saved Ben Affleck's new movie, The Way Back. It's one I'm looking forward to a lot. As I said, I wasn't invited to the premiere or a screening of it, but I am going to find my way to go see this thing this weekend. I'm just such a fan of Ben Affleck as a person, as an artist, and he is coming along in such a strong and powerful way to becoming a man, and dealing with his demons. And certainly this film is on him being, he stars as Jack Cunningham, a former high school basketball standout who's hired as his alma mater's head coach. He struggles with alcoholism throughout the movie. And obviously we know that Ben Affleck struggled with his addiction, alcohol addiction. He's been in rehab numerous times. He's been in rehab a couple of times, certainly trying to figure this out for himself. And he's been very honest about it in all these interviews and all these junket interviews that he's done about it. And he's getting some of the highest praise of his career in these reviews. But this story comes from an interview that Gavin O'Connor did in this student publication called 34th Street. He was asked about how this all came about and how Affleck, who had been in rehab around the time that The Way Back was gearing up to start production, how they didn't replace him and whether it raised questions about what was going to happen with the project. He said, and let me bring up the quote for you all so I get the quote right here 100%. There it is. He said about Jennifer Garner, so what happened was, just as we started prepping the movie, Ben fell off the wagon. So he ended up going to rehab, and I didn't know if the movie was over. The studio certainly thought the movie was over. His ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, called me up and told me that when he went to rehab, he took a basketball with him. She said, Gavin, He's asking you, please don't pull the plug on the movie. He really wants to do this. Look, shout out to Jennifer Garner, who of course is Ben Affleck's ex-wife and an actress in her own right. And if you watch those old Dinner for Five movies, I think someone did a video where you see where Jennifer Garner is like 1,000% in love with Ben Affleck, just the way she's looking at him. So just because things don't work out in relationships, so things don't work out between two people, it doesn't mean that in the long run, they don't still love each other as people, and I think that's important overall here. This story, I like the story because this is her like kind of still loving him, even though he's an addict, even though he cheated on her, even though this and that. And look, I don't fault any woman who goes, fuck that guy. I'm not going to help that guy at all and go off and live my own life. Or any person who has a cheating spouse, regardless of gender, you have every right to be like, I don't want to be with that person anymore. Screw them. Let them fall on their face and be unsuccessful and fail at their chosen profession and be the ridicule of the press and the tabloids. But Jennifer, like, this shows so much strength of spirit, actual love and strength of heart to reach out to the director of this film, and a director that Ben has worked before, obviously, on The Accountant, and kind of lobby for Ben not to lose the role. It reminded me of Ava Gardner and Frank Sinatra. Around the time that Frank Sinatra got From Here to Eternity, he was done. The Bobby Soxers were not on the Sinatra train anymore. His songs weren't selling. He was singing singles with a dog. He was just doing anything possible to save his career. And he becomes so desperate, and these are allegations or allegedly, he tried to kill himself, that he tried to put his head into an oven and turn on the gas. One of his friends found him in the apartment when they smelled the gas coming over to visit him and saved him. He was dating Ava Gardner at the time, and he was incredibly in love with her, even though he was married to his first wife. And it was a destructive love, like it was an all-consuming love from Sinatra for Ava. Ava certainly had her own way of doing things. And Ava is the one who reached out to, I think, Harry Cohn or Roy Cohn, whoever it was that was in charge of the studio at the time. And she lobbied for Sinatra. And once again, Sinatra was damaged goods. Sinatra was kryptonite. And here she lobbied for him and put her career on the line to say, you need to cast him in From Here to Eternity as that character. And what happened? Sinatra ended up winning the Oscar for that, and it revitalized his career as an actor. Right around the corner was his comeback on Capitol and all the 60s into the 70s into Reprise and all of that. So if it wasn't for Ava stepping in, Frank, maybe Sinatra would have been one of those has-been situations, or remember when, or a victimone type of thing, who was good for a little while and then forgotten. So those things are, it's essential sometimes to have the love of good people, or the love of someone who's got a strength to take that extra step for you. And so I love this story for what it symbolizes. And I love the fact that, Ben is talking honestly about his addiction, about his demons, and confronting it here in this movie. It adds another kind of meta layer to the movie that I find to be incredible and interesting and fascinating overall. And, kudos to Gavin O'Connor. I mean, Gavin O'Connor took that call. Gavin O'Connor spoke to her. Gavin O'Connor, was swayed by her as well. And he said he visited Affleck in rehab so they could discuss the film and iron out the right approach to it, which kind of reaffirmed the fact that Ben Affleck was on board with this project. He talked about Affleck finding his own way back from his relapse and rehab. And by the way, this is coming from Cinema Blend, so giving some love to Cinema Blend. He said he had about a week of detoxing because he really went off the deep end. And after a week, I was able to go see him. We spent half a day together and figured out a way to do this that will work for him, because most importantly, he needed to recover and needed to get his sobriety on track. That overtook everything. And then he got out the day before we started shooting. So we had a very raw, vulnerable guy showing up for our first day of shooting. And he spoke about the pain that Affleck's vulnerability was accompanied with. He said that it was obviously painful to do some scenes that were really intense and dark and bleak. And, quote, capturing that, to watch Affleck do that was hard at times, but also was euphoric, because that's your job as an actor, to access these emotions and to go to places that are honest and deep and truthful. So it always felt really good, even though it was painful, because he was doing his job really well. Can't tell you how much I love these quotes from Gavin O'Connor and for Ben Affleck. I mean, I just am such a massive fan of him, and I'm glad that he's getting this like kind of second chance and getting this chance to move past these kinds of things and, get your demons out of you and confront them. And it is sometimes for as a cliche, it is the love of a good woman that can bring you back from the depths of hell, from the depths of yes. I know we all want to say, I don't need anybody. Nobody should be able to influence me. I should be my own individual person. I don't need a man to love me. I don't need a woman to love me. I can do my own thing. I totally respect that. But sometimes when we struggle and when we're creative people, we need that person who understands us and can talk to us in those moments. I can't tell you how much Lindley has been an incredible source of strength for me as I transition out of what happened to me in January at that place and move into my own thing. She has been so supportive and so positive and so pushing and so in love with what I'm trying to do and respects it so much. She is so great about it. And you need that support system. The last thing you need when you come home is someone questioning you for what you're doing. And I don't mean questioning you in a positive way, like constructive criticism. I mean questioning, are you really doing, like, you're such a loser, or why it's never going to work out for you? All that kind of stuff. The odds are pretty high. This is the last thing you want to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? You want someone who's supportive. I don't mean they need to be blindly supportive. Got to be realistically supportive. And this is Jennifer Garner saying, hey, he is committed. I know him. He is committed. He took a basketball to rehab. He is going to do this. Please don't let him go. Please don't stop the movie. And after a week of him being in rehab, O'Connor was able to go see him, and she was absolutely right about Ben. And Ben made dedicated himself to the film. So we'll see overall what that leads to. But a lot of us go through what we go through, our demons, either mental health or addiction or what have you, and you just need somebody who's going to support you and be there for you when the chips are down. And there's, to a degree, I can say Christian, like after this whole thing happened with me as well, Christian has been nothing but supportive and encouraging. The Schmoedown stuff, getting me on to host these shows at SEN, being, creating a path, doing the documentary, release the documentary. All those things over the last 2 months have really been uplifting things to keep me supported and keep me going when I have my doubts. And I do have my doubts. This is Mornings with the Outlaw. I'm going to be honest with you. I have my doubts sometimes. I have to push through those doubts and creating this content. And, my subscriber base isn't growing as fast as I would like it to grow. Publicists sometimes aren't inviting me to these things because the outlet isn't big enough, or they don't invite me to junkets or set visits because I don't have a website to write about this stuff. So all this is, kind of in my head, but so I need those words of support and positivity to keep me going. And I know all of you who join me on here mean a lot to me because of that. The fact that I'm consistently getting close to 200 or over 200 people who watch me in real time on this show means a lot. The fact that the show gets almost 2,000 views consistently and up to almost 10,000 views on one episode means a lot to me as well. So, and I'm building and growing and figuring this all out as I go along, and I have to be patient with myself. But the demons creep in, the feelings of insecurity, self-esteem stuff, worries about my health, the mental health, those kinds of things will creep in certain moments because you get a little scared. But I persevere and I fight through it, and she is a big reason why. No surprise that Jennifer Garner did this for Ben Affleck as well. Shows you what it's like to really love somebody. Sometimes being selfless is one of the most strongest acts of love that you can show somebody. And she's not approving of his behavior towards her. She understands who this man is and still loves him despite him breaking her heart, despite him cheating on her, and God knows what nights of alcoholism or stuff that she had to endure with him. She has a strong will and a strong spirit to love him, and there's kudos to her for that. Absolutely. All right, I got to wrap this thing up here now because I got to run off to host SEN Live. Want to see if I got any super chats that I'm missing here. We got one from Andrew G. He says, I'm a big fan of Ben getting his life together, staying sober, and being well. It really gets to me on an emotional level. I'm rooting for him. Also, are we getting a new Geek Buddies this week and great Cinephiles this week and Last Crusade? Love it. That's right. So 2 things real quick there because I got to wrap this thing up. So I'll say all these kinds of things. Nice, William. That's good to know. Chill to Action went over 2,000 views. I'm sure Mark Ellis is still the top, so I'm sure I won't pass Mark Ellis, but nice to know that the Chill to Action episode, which you guys should watch on the Chill to Action, on the Call to Action YouTube channel, had a great time with them. 2.5-hour episode. We answered every single question they wanted to ask me there, and everyone was great. Billy Belford, Paul Denuzio, and Danielle, all of them. Denuzio, sorry, that I is silent. all of them there helping me on the show, being on the show. And it was a great time. And getting those questions from the fans. Kelsey brought in those questions. So much fun. So, and I hope to come back. I would love to come back on again, maybe in a couple months, and have another discussion, have another hangout with them. That would be a lot of fun as well. And if they're ever in town, maybe we'll do an impromptu Outlaw Nation show where I bring them onto my show and we do a little kind of a give back in that way. So, oh, I'm at 2,100 and Ellis is at 2,200. All right, get me to 2,300, people. Let me beat Mark Ellis at something. That would be great. Lord knows I can't beat him in comedy, and I certainly couldn't beat him in the Schmoedown unless it was teams. I did beat him in teams, but not singles. All right, there we go. Yeah, you talk about Andrew G. You mentioned Geek Buddies. Unfortunately, Geek Buddies, I've had some audio issues. Are any of you all like really good audio engineers? Because the audio that I recorded for on the H6, the MP3 track, unfortunately, the third track, which is Michael's track, was way too high. I was so caught up with doing 3 different things, I forgot to check it before we started recording. So is there any way to dump the MP3s into separate WAV files, like for my track, Shannon's track, and Mike's track, so I can lower Mike's track, up Shannon's track, and then combine them back into one track again? If anyone can email me, my email's on my Instagram account at the Rocha Says. Email me and guide me through that. I'd really appreciate it because I don't know how to do it. Or if I can send you the tracks and you'd be willing to do it for me today so I can put this up today, I'd really appreciate it. We did a Picard review of the last 2 episodes of Picard 5 and 6, and then we did our own Geek Buddies episode. So I would be so eternally grateful. I give you a shout out on any show for helping me out to do that. So if any of you are big with audio, I'd really appreciate it. Please email me at johnsteven with a V, johnstevenrocha@gmail.com, and go from there. And that's right. The Cinephiles today dropped part 1 of our review of, or revisit of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Steve Morris and I are joined by Shannon McClung, Geek Buddy Shannon McClung, and we break down that film over 2 parts. And today's the first part. So you can go find that in the description below. You can find that link. Go click on that and join and subscribe as well. There's a Patreon for that as well if you're a big fan of it. So there you go. Adesanya, this is from Gloin to Hobbit. One last super chat. Adesanya versus Romero at UFC 248. Who do you like? I'm going to go with Romero. Oh, yeah, Jake, can you do that? Holy shit, Jake, can you really do that? All right, Jake, I'm going to send you the files. I'm going to send it to you on a WeTransfer and go from there. All right, thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. All right, that's it. I got to wrap it up. I got to get going. I got to jump out of here and go over to SEN Live. Thank you all so much for joining me on this lovely Friday morning on Mornings with the Outlaw. It means so much to have you aboard. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Hope you enjoyed that new logo and the new motion logo for the Outlaw Nation show coming up on Tuesday. Look for that. I think 5 to 7 might be the way to go. It seems to be the optimal time. Plus, it'll give me a little more time with my lady afterwards. So look for that on Tuesday afternoon. But starting to next week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, that'll be Outlaw Nation, 8:15 to 9:30. That's what I'm aiming for. And so that'll be the schedule going forward. Then the show and all that kind of jazz. So that'll be the situation there. So follow me at the Rocha Says. There you see it on the lovely overlay from Jake Iacovetta. Please go to my Patreon and donate there, www.patreon.com/John Rocha. And then anything else? Cinephiles. Hopefully Geek Buddies soon. I just dropped a new episode of Strong Style, the wrestling show I do with Aaron Turner out of Orlando. We recorded it. We revisit Booker T's first ever WCW singles title championship win. He beats Jeff Jarrett at Bash at the Beach 2000, also known for the Hulk Hogan, Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett situation. That was also the same night. People forget about that. So we talk about all of that on the show. You can find it now. It's up on the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel under the playlist Strong Style. You don't want to miss that one. Aaron and I get into it for about 50 minutes on that particular match, and it's a lot of fun. So, all right, that's it. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you on SEN Live in a few minutes, or I'll see you on Monday morning on Mornings with the Outlaw. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday, first of all. Then have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care until then.